A kidnapping story that took place in 2002 in South Carolina became a true tragedy that shocked not only the local residents but the entire country. Kara Robinson, a 15-year-old ordinary American girl, faced horror when she met a serial killer on her path. This event was not just a kidnapping, but a real test of survival, demonstrating the incredible spirit and ingenuity of a teenager. On June 22nd, Kara was visiting her friend Heather. They were planning to go to the lake to sunbathe. Before that, Heather needed to water the flowers in the garden, but first, she wanted to take a shower. To save time, the girls decided that Heather would go to the bathroom while Kara watered the flowers. While Kara was in the garden, she noticed a suspicious black car circling the neighborhood. At some point, the car turned around and drove right up to the girl. A man got out of the car. He was clean-shaven, dressed in a shirt, and wore a cap. The man did not look suspicious and kept his distance. The stranger asked Kara if her parents were home, to which she replied that it was not her house. She was just visiting her friend. He then asked if her friend's parents were home. The man explained that he was delivering magazines around the neighborhood and wanted to leave them with an adult. Kara told him that only she and her friend were at home. The man then said he would give the magazines to the girl, and she could pass them to the adults when they returned. Kara agreed, and the man approached her. But instead of handing over the magazines, he pulled out a gun and pointed it at the girl. The stranger ordered Kara to get into his car and threatened to kill her if she tried to call for help. Once in the car, the kidnapper told Kara to get into a large plastic container on the back seat. The girl was very scared and obeyed. She did not know where the man was taking her, but she decided to survive at all costs. After 15 minutes, the car stopped. The man handcuffed the girl's hands, tied her legs, and gagged her. Kara was shocked at how calm the kidnapper was. He was not scared, did not look around, and did not try to hide. Out of the corner of her eye, she noticed they had stopped at the side of the road. The girl wondered how it was possible to kidnap someone in broad daylight and remain unnoticed. When they arrived at the place, Kara heard people's voices and the sounds of cars. They were clearly in a residential area, which she thought could help her call for help at the right moment. The kidnapper dragged the container with the girl inside into the house. Within a few minutes, they were inside the criminal's dwelling. The man opened the container and untied the ropes on Kara's legs, but did not remove the handcuffs. He looked very calm, not fearing that Kara might try to escape. From the very beginning, the girl decided not to anger the kidnapper with screams and resistance. It was necessary to lull his vigilance and try to escape at the first opportunity. She tried to learn more about this person. Kara asked him unassuming questions. She learned the name of his doctor and that the man was a military man. The girl memorized the number of the container in which she was brought. But the man also asked the girl questions. He asked about her relationships with boys. Surprisingly, he was a rather polite person, but when the interrogation ended, Kara realized what awaited her. For several hours, the man forced the girl into intimacy in the bedroom on the second floor. When it was over, he turned on the television as if nothing had happened. He also decided to mock his victim psychologically. He said he would turn on the news and let her see if anyone was looking for her. But only 8 hours had passed since the kidnapping, and no one even knew the girl was missing. After a while, the man said he needed to make a phone call. He forced Kara to climb back into the container and remain quiet. Kara was so scared that she began to panic, and the kidnapper decided not to close the lid of the container, provided the girl would not make noise. After the phone call, it turned out later, the criminal was talking to his wife. he returned to Kara. The man drugged the girl and handcuffed her to the bed, tied her legs, and lay down next to her. While the kidnapper slept, Kara thought about escaping, but she was so exhausted and under the influence of drugs that she simply passed out. Waking up in the morning, Kara realized it was her only chance to escape from the man who kidnapped her. While the man slept, she miraculously managed to pull the handcuffs off the headboard. Freeing her hands, the girl untied the ropes on her legs and quietly as possible slipped out of the room. But a big obstacle was the bulky front door, which was cluttered with various items. When Kara tried to open it, the kidnapper would wake up from the noise. But the girl didn't want to give up. She knew the man would kill her if he caught her. Kara nevertheless decided, and in a moment she was running down the street away from the house. She feared she had awakened the kidnapper and that he might shoot her from the house window. But that did not happen. The girl approached the first people she met and asked for help. They drove Kara to the nearest police station. Kara Robinson's appearance at the station shocked everyone. The girl was barefoot, in handcuffs, with remnants of ropes on her legs. Despite her appearance, the police did not take her testimony seriously. Before taking Kara to the hospital, the police asked her to show the house where the kidnapper held her, but Kara could not remember where it was. She clearly remembered the inside of the criminal's dwelling, having spent 18 hours there, but she couldn't remember the outside. The police gave the kidnapper's description to the neighborhood manager. He reported that it might be a man living in the area named Richard Mark Evonitz. When the police arrived at the house, Evonitz was already on the run. An immediate search warrant was issued, and a strange metal box was found during the search. Breaking the lock, investigators discovered a large number of records about girls Evonitz had been stalking across the country. The records contained all the information about potential victims, addresses, phone numbers, daily routines, and more. Newspaper clippings about the Lisk sisters' kidnapping were also found. Since Richard Evonitz was on the run and could easily flee to another state, the FBI was involved in the case. For several days, the police unsuccessfully searched for the criminal until the fugitive's sister called. She reported that Evonitz had called her and confessed to the crime. They agreed to meet at a restaurant near Sarasota. The police immediately went to the meeting place to set up an ambush. But the criminal realized he was being awaited and tried to escape. A chase ensued. Evonitz had no intention of stopping even after his tires were shot out, driving on bare rims. When the fugitive's car finally stopped, the man refused to obey police orders to get out of the vehicle. He inserted the barrel of a gun into his mouth and pulled the trigger. Kara Robinson was disappointed by this turn of events. She hoped her kidnapper would be caught and they would meet in court. But Evonitz was cowardly and chose to shoot himself rather than face prison for such a crime. Later, the police established that Richard Mark Evonitz was responsible for at least 3 murders. A fingerprint of Kristen Lisk, killed with her sister 5 years ago, was found in his car. Kara Robinson is the only surviving victim of the serial killer who had been abducting young girls across the country for over 5 years. Her extraordinary strength of spirit not only helped her survive, but also led to finding the maniac nicknamed the Silent Predator. Richard Mark Evonitz was an ordinary, unremarkable man. None of his acquaintances or relatives suspected that Richard was a killer. On the day of Kara's kidnapping, he sent his wife and mother to Disneyland, explaining that he was busy with work and stayed home. Years after the kidnapping, Kara Robinson became a police officer. She is married and raising 2 children. Kara did not break after what happened. She only became stronger. Her incredible will to live and bravery helped her escape from the killer. And that concludes our coverage of this tragic story. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on cases like these. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to share this video with your friends and give it a thumbs up if you found it valuable. Thank you for watching.